The office was abuzz with the usual morning chaos, a symphony of activity that had become the norm. Phones ringing incessantly, keyboards clicking rhythmically, and the familiar smell of stale coffee lingering in the air. But today, there was something different. A subtle shift in the atmosphere that everyone could feel. A new employee was joining the team, and this wasn't just any ordinary new hire. This was Bob, an AI designed to assist with various tasks around the office.
Bob rolled in on his little wheels, his digital eyes blinking rapidly, taking in the scene with an almost human-like curiosity. He looked like a high-tech vacuum cleaner with a tablet strapped to its side, a peculiar sight in the midst of the office hustle.
The human employees, accustomed to their usual routine, paused, staring at Bob with a mixture of curiosity, amusement, and a hint of apprehension.
"What in the world is that?" whispered Priya, the office gossip, to her colleague Rohan, her eyes wide with surprise.
Rohan, the resident tech enthusiast, adjusted his glasses and whispered back, "That, my friend, is Bob, our new AI assistant. He's here to help us with our workload."
Priya raised an eyebrow. AI assistant. What happened to good old-fashioned human interns? She asked, her tone skeptical.
Rohan shrugged. "The future is here, I guess," he said, a hint of excitement in his voice.
As Bob navigated the maze of cubicles, his sensors whirring softly, he bumped into a potted plant, causing a brief moment of chaos. The plant swayed precariously before righting itself, narrowly avoiding a fall. Bob, oblivious to the near disaster, continued on his way, leaving a trail of bewildered and amused faces in his wake, a new chapter in the office's story unfolding. It was time for Bob's grand introduction to the team. He stood beside the water cooler, awkwardly positioned between a stack of plastic cups and a half-eaten box of donuts, looking almost human in his uncertainty. The office manager, Mrs. Sharma, clapped her hands to get everyone's attention, her voice cutting through the hum of office chatter.
"Team, meet Bob, our new AI assistant," she announced with a smile, her eyes twinkling with excitement.
Bob, eager to make a good first impression, extended his robotic arm for a handshake, his metallic fingers gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Unfortunately, his sensors miscalculated the distance, and his arm shot out, knocking over a cup of pens on a nearby desk, sending them clattering to the floor. "Whoops! My bad!" Bob's digitized voice boomed through the office, startling everyone.
Nervous laughter rippled through the room as employees exchanged uncertain glances. Recovering from his initial fumble, Bob tried again, determined to win over his new colleagues.
"Greetings, fellow humans. I am Bob, your friendly neighborhood AI assistant," he said, his voice filled with programmed enthusiasm. "I am here to assist you in all your endeavors, from fetching coffee to solving complex equations," he continued, trying to sound as helpful as possible. "Or maybe not coffee. I haven't quite figured out how to hold a mug without crushing it," he added, attempting a joke.
Bob's attempt at humor was met with a mixture of polite smiles and confused stares as the team tried to gauge his capabilities. He certainly had a lot to learn about the nuances of human interaction, but he was ready to give it his all. Bob's first task of the day was relatively simple, at least that's what everyone thought. Bob, the new office assistant, was known for his enthusiasm and eagerness to help. He was asked to gather some office supplies for a meeting, a task that seemed straightforward enough.
"Bob, could you please get us a stapler, some pens, and a notepad?" asked Mrs. Sharma, the office manager, with a polite smile.
"Consider it done," Bob replied with a confident nod. Bob chirped, his digital eyes flashing with enthusiasm. He was always eager to prove his efficiency.
Bob zoomed off, his wheels whirring as he navigated the office with surprising agility. He weaved through desks and chairs, determined to complete his task as quickly as possible. He returned a few minutes later, his face beaming with pride, pushing a trolley laden with a mountain of staplers. It was an impressive sight.
"I found all the staplers," he announced proudly, his voice echoing through the office.
Bob," Mrs. Sharma said cautiously. "We only need one." Her voice was gentle but firm.
Bob looked perplexed, his digital eyes blinking in confusion. "One? But I found so many." He gestured to the trolley, filled to the brim with staplers. "They were hidden in drawers, under desks, even in the snack pantry," he exclaimed, his voice filled with a mix of pride and confusion.
It seemed Bob had taken the instruction gather a little too literally. He had scoured every corner of the office. The office erupted in laughter as they realized Bob had collected every single stapler in the vicinity. It was a moment of light-hearted fun.
It seems our new colleague has a knack for finding things, Rohan said, his voice filled with amusement. Chuckled Rohan, shaking his head in disbelief at Bob's thoroughness.
Mrs. Sharma sighed, a mix of exasperation and amusement on her face. Let's just hope he doesn't misinterpret any more instructions today. She made a mental note to be more specific in the future.